Hey folks, I am Nickel Socks. That is my handle on Twitter, and I'll just go with that for the purposes of this video. Amateur hour charting. Believe me, I have way less experience than most of the people I follow on Twitter with respect to, in particular, uranium. But I thought I'd put this video up with a chart of and I'm using TradingView, URA QQQ ratio chart. So, and I'll explain this at a level that is super easy for the neophyte. Obviously the people with way more experience than me know all this stuff already. Okay, so this is a ratio chart. URA, for the uninitiated, is the biggest ETF for the uranium industry. It's not a pure play because I think it's still a 30% non-uranium mining stocks. But it's the one that's been in existence the longest, so it works best for this chart. And of course, Triple Q is the NASDAQ. We all know what's happened with the NASDAQ over the last couple of decades or so. It was really juiced for the last decade, especially since the great financial crisis, the GFC. And we all know the last uranium bull market was circa 2007-ish area. I can't remember its peak, but URA only actually goes back to, on this chart anyway, 2011. So the ratio chart can only go back that far, but you'll see what happens. Now, this is, because it's a ratio chart, if as the ratio goes up, URA is doing better relative to NASDAQ. As it goes down, the NASDAQ is doing better relative to URA. Now, this is a weekly chart that I'm going to zoom out on in a bit, but this goes back to 2019, so about 3 years or so. And here's the pattern I've drawn in. You can see the price action over that time. Again, these are weekly candles. Here's the uptrend line, the green one here. This is horizontal line that I drew where it roughly touches the upper prices, has touched this line or gone over it a little bit over the last couple of years or so. And you can see the pattern that it's making. We've got many touches over the last couple of years. And then at the lower end, we've got a rising trend line. So the lows keep getting higher and the highs staying the same. This is an ascending triangle pattern. It goes by different names, but that's the one I use. And this is bullish. It's a bullish sign. Now, this is only going back the last 3 years. Let's look to see what happens as I slowly go back in time. Of course, this is going to go down and get harder to see, but this is insane. You'll see as we go back to 2013, 2011, and 2000. There it ends. Look at how this chart is curving down. Of course, that's the bear market after Fukushima. Is mostly that. Bottom was somewhere here. And as I go back again and magnify just in the last 3-4 years, you'll see the ascending triangle again. So this is a really exciting chart for the uranium folks following the uranium industry. Obviously, a lot of us are uranium bulls for obvious reasons. Anyway, I thought I'd just post that. There's another chart. Justin Hune has posted this. Justin, apologies if you're watching this and you haven't posted this publicly, but it is a ratio chart that Justin refers to often. This is a ratio of the URA to the S&P 500. It's similar but different. It's still bullish, but it's a flag pattern. Instead of the ascending triangle of the NASDAQ, it's a flag pattern, but it still does the same thing when you go back many years. One other thing to point out, and I'll do it first on the URA/SPX ratio chart because it's open, is where the point of the triangle is. If I put the cursor about there and look down, follow the dotted line down, that's roughly the end of May. If I go all the way to the tip, it's July. But, somewhere in here, there's got to be a break. Break to the downside, break to the upside. Usually it's going to be a break in the direction of the prevailing trend, which if you zoom out is definitely up. So somewhere in that time frame is, when one could reasonably expect based on this charting things to move. And it's a little bit different on the first chart I showed you with the URA versus the NASDAQ. The tip goes all the way out to the end of the year. Now, when these breakouts happen, they almost never go all the way to the tip before it either breaks to the downside or breaks to the upside. So sometime between now, February, and the fall, there's going to be a breakout. I'd say it's, my totally amateur guesses, uh, significantly sooner than the fall, but that is traditional seasonality of uranium is for the fall, but that obviously doesn't happen every year, as we know. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully that's useful, encouraging to some people.